Willkommen zu LIVEABC. Wie geht es dir? Ich bin Matt.
Matt, this is LIVEABC English.
Oh, right, but we're talking about Germany today, so I can use German, right?
No, we still have to do the program in English.
But I want to show everyone that I can speak German as well.
That's great, Matt. But today, we still have to do the program in English. So, obviously, we are talking about Germany, but where in Germany are we going today?
München.
Oh.
Or in English, it would be Munich.
Okay, and I've been to Germany a couple of times, but I've never been to Munich. Have you?
I have been to Munich several times, actually.
Oh, and I see your shirt.
That's right. This is my shirt from the Munich soccer team, FC Bayern Munich, which is my favorite team.
Okay, so what did you do when you were in Munich?
Well, I went to visit much of the old city and the old town, and I also went to a Bayern Munich soccer game, which was very exciting to watch. And I went to Oktoberfest, which is a big festival that they have every year.
Well, it's interesting that you said that you visit the old town because today we are actually talking about how Munich as a place has come from the medieval times to modern day. So let's read today's article, Munich, from the medieval to the modern.
Welcome to Munich, the heart of Bavaria. This city began as a small village in 1158, but it is now one of Germany's largest and most important urban centers. Munich's rich history is there to see for anyone who walks along its grand streets, strolls through its pretty gardens, or explores its impressive buildings. Marienplatz, the city's busy main square, is a must-see for all visitors to Munich. The square is lined with beautiful buildings, but perhaps the most impressive of them all is the new town hall. It's worth checking out the building's famous mechanical clock. At points throughout the day, the clock uses life-size figures to recreate scenes from Munich's past, including a jousting contest and a wedding.
Hello, everyone. Today we are looking at an article called Munich, from the medieval to the modern. And today we're looking at part 1. So let's get into this article.
Okay, welcome to Munich, the heart of Bavaria. This city began as a small village in 1158, but it is now one of Germany's largest and most important urban centers. All right, here we have our first vocabulary word, which is urban, and it is an adjective used to describe a place relating to a town or a city. So, for example, Chicago is one of the largest urban areas in the US.
Okay, back to our article. Munich's rich history is there to see for anyone who walks along its grand streets, strolls through its pretty gardens, or explores its impressive buildings.
Marienplatz, the city's busy main square, is a must-see for all visitors to Munich. The square is lined with beautiful buildings, but perhaps the most impressive of them all is the new town hall.
It's worth checking out the building's famous mechanical clock. At points throughout the day, the clock uses life-size figures to recreate scenes from Munich's past, including a jousting contest and a wedding.
Wow.
Now, I've actually seen this clock, and you can wait there in the square, in the Marienplatz, which is the name of the square, and look up at the town hall. It's very interesting.
That's cool. Is there music that plays, or is it just the sound, the chime?
It's chimes. Yeah, not music, but it's the chimes of the clock.
The clock.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Okay, so this is a mechanical clock, and mechanical is an adjective meaning worked by machines or machinery. So when you think of something that is mechanical, it means it has moving parts inside. So you might think of if you have a digital clock or a mechanical clock. a digital clock shows the time, but nothing moves inside. It's just the electronics cause the numbers to change. Whereas a mechanical clock has moving parts and gears inside that move the clock hands around to show you the time. So an example sentence, if you wind up the mechanical toy, it will walk around the room.
So it's really interesting to see how the city of Munich, you can still see so many of its old things like, because mechanical, when you think about mechanical things, it's something not really modern, because when you think digital clocks, or you don't really get to see mechanical clocks like that in like a plaza or a square.
That's right. These days it's much, cheaper and easier to make things like digital clocks are very cheap to make.
Right.
But these kind of mechanical clocks where, you didn't have the option to put a big digital clock up there back when that was done. So that's why they had to use mechanical clocks, and it's cool to see something that still works to this day using these very complicated mechanics that are inside.
Right, and they still have to maintain it. And what's interesting is that usually, especially in medieval times, each town or city, they would have these plazas, or in this case, we're talking about Marienplatz, where they would hold contests. And they would do things in the plaza, so everyone in the village or everyone in town will come here and gather. So like we said, they would do weddings, or we would see the jousting contest. And here we have another one of our vocabulary word, which is contest. And a contest is when you and another person or multiple people try to compete or try to win to be the ultimate winner of something. Usually contests might be smaller than a big competition, but no matter what it is, you're still trying to win for a title of some sort. So an example sentence will be, Bill won the singing contest at his school.
All right, and in this case, we're talking about a jousting contest, which is when two men or two people on horseback ride at each other holding a long pole and try to knock each other off of the horse.
Right. And back in those days, it was something that it showed, all the women loved knights that joust, right?
Yes.
And it really showed a person how strong and tough they are.
That's right. All right, well, we've learned some interesting things about Munich, but a lot more to learn when we come back after this break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这次要介绍的旅游地点是 Munich 慕尼黑。这座城市在1158年始于一个小村庄，现在则是德国最大而且最重要的都市中心之一。Urban 这个字就可以形容是城市的、都市的。好，那我们第一站就来到了玛利亚广场，这是慕尼黑最繁忙的主广场，也是所有到慕尼黑的游客必造访的景点。广场周围林立着美丽的建筑，那么其中最令人印象深刻的，也许就是新市政厅。你可以去看看它有名的机械钟，在一天当中的特定时刻，这座钟会用真人大小的雕像重现慕尼黑历史上的场景，有包括比武竞赛，还有婚礼。好 ，Matt 老师这时候有提到 chime 这个字 ，chime，chime 当名词，它可以表达钟声、铃声。那么单字 mechanical 是形容机械的。Matt 老师提到一个相关词性 mechanics。则是表达力学、机械学或者是运作方式、机制。注意它是 mechanics 后面有加 s。下一个单词 contest 它表示比赛、竞赛。文中的 jousting contest 表示比武竞赛。那我们补充一下 joust 当动词就是表达骑马进行长枪比武的意思。接回到课文中。
Just around the corner stand the amazing twin towers of Munich's cathedral, which can be seen from all over the city. At ground level, a strange footprint on the church floor is a curious sight. The story goes that the footprint was left by the devil after he made a deal with the cathedral's builder. A few minutes' walk from the church is the English Garden, one of the largest urban parks in the world. Here, visitors can have leisurely walks, go bird watching, or even surf on the Eisbach, a man-made river.
welcome back. Before the break, we learned a little bit about Marienplatz, and now we're going to get to know Munich some more and some of its other interesting sites.
So let's get back to our article. Just around the corner, and that's just around the corner from Marienplatz and the new town hall. So just around the corner stand the amazing twin towers of Munich's cathedral, which can be seen from all over the city. Okay, so these are twin towers. When something is a twin, it means it has a matching pair. It's part of a matching pair of something. So if we have twin towers, we have two towers that look very much the same and they go together. So we often can see these kinds of buildings in places in the world, like, for example, in Kuala Lumpur, there's some famous twin towers, the Petronas Towers. So here in Munich, we have the famous twin towers of the cathedral. So for an example sentence, the hotel room has twin beds and a balcony. So I've actually seen these twin towers as well in Munich, and they're very famous also for their onion domes on top. So the tops of the towers are like an onion, the way it contours, and it's like an onion that sits on top of the towers. And these can be seen from all over the city because I think there was, or maybe still is, a law that you cannot build anything taller than the tower, so you can see them from all over the city.
Wow, that's really interesting. And in Germany, there's always a lot of these beautiful cathedrals to visit. So we definitely have to visit the cathedral in Munich if you ever get a chance. Okay, let's get back to the article. At ground level, a strange footprint on the church floor is a curious sight. Okay, that's really interesting because a footprint usually is a mark that you leave with your shoe or something. So why is there a footprint on the church floor? Let's see. The story goes that the footprint was left by the devil after he made a deal with the cathedral's builder. Oh, that's really interesting. Did you happen to see this footprint?
I have seen the footprint, yes. There is the famous footprint. There's a little sign and everything, so you can't miss it. And yeah, it doesn't really look...
Does it look like a shoe?
I honestly can't remember right now what it looks like.
So that means it must not be very significant.
When I saw it, I didn't believe it was actually made by the devil.
Okay, well, the devil is basically a personified character or a person that represents all of evil. And especially in certain religions, they believe him to be Satan, the name. Okay, that's the devil's name. And basically, when you're talking about the devil, it's basically someone that is very evil, or they represent evil. And we have an example sentence here. Sally dressed up as the devil to scare her friends. So sometimes during Halloween, people will dress up as the devil. But usually, people will also say that use the devil to scare children to be good.
Yeah, and another way people use the devil is to say that you made a deal with the devil, as they're saying that this builder did it. And it's often when you make a deal with the devil, it means that you've done something bad or something not good in order to do something that you needed to finish. So if this builder made a deal with the devil, it means he probably had to do something very bad as well. Maybe to finish building this town hall.
And usually the lore or the story is that a lot of famous people, they want fame, they want to be known and seen all over the world, and then sometimes people would say they signed a deal with the devil.
That's right.
And then the devil will come back and take their soul.
Right. All right, back to our article. A few minutes walk from the church is the English Garden, one of the largest urban parks in the world. Here, visitors can have leisurely walks, go bird watching, or even surf on the Eisbach, a man-made river. Okay, so there's many things you can do in the English Garden, and one thing is to, take leisurely walks. So leisurely is an adjective that means to do something in a relaxed or in a not hurried way. And you might notice that leisurely has an ly ending, which would make you think it must be an adverb. Well, you'd be correct because it's also an adverb. So I could say, I walk leisurely to work, or I took a leisurely walk to work. It's both an adjective and an adverb. So here's an example sentence. Sam had a leisurely swim in the sea before going for breakfast.
Okay, so today we definitely learned quite a bit about some different places that we could see in Munich, especially from the medieval times. But we're going to learn more in part 2, so we will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
看完新市政厅，可以看到转角处矗立着慕尼黑圣母教堂的双塔，从城市的各个角落都可以看到这个建筑。那它有着洋葱造型的屋顶。Matt 老师这时有用到 dome 这个字 ，D-O-M-E。Dome 它表示圆屋顶、穹顶建筑或者是半球形物。老师还有用到 contour 这个字。C-O-N-T-O-U-R，contour 它当名词表示外形轮廓。好，那回到地面上，我们可以看到教堂地板上有一个奇怪的脚印，传说这个脚印是恶魔跟大教堂建筑者达成交易后所留下的。那接着从教堂步行几分钟，你就可以抵达英国花园，这是世界上最大的城市公园之一。你可以在那边悠闲的散步、赏鸟，甚至是在人造河上面冲浪。我们看一下单字 twin。Twin 它表示成双的，是个形容词，文中用到 Twin Towers 来表达双塔。而 devil 表示恶魔、魔鬼。Kiki 老师在解释单字时用到 personify 这个动词，在 person 后面加上 ify 构成动词 personify， 表示把什么拟人化，成为什么的化身、象征。老师还用到 lore。L-O-R-E，lore 可以表达世代流传的传说知识。下一个单字 leisurely，leisurely 它表示悠闲的、从容的，在这边当形容词，它也可以当副词来表达悠闲的、从容的。Matt 老师还有用到 relaxed 这个形容词 ，relax 后面加上 ed， 那它是形容放松的、轻松自在的。好，这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边要介绍的是地方副词或地方副词片语移到句首的倒装。当主词带有比较长的修饰语，或者是要强调地方副词或地方副词片语时，我们就可以把这个副词或副词片语移到句首，然后把主词跟动词倒装，形成下列的句型：地方副词或副词片语加 be 动词或动词加主词。那么倒装句的动词，它的单复数就要跟它后面的主词一致，而动词常常会用到 be 动词或者是 come、go、sit、lie、stand、live 等等的动词。举例来说 ，A vase filled with flowers sits on the table。我们把地方副词片语 on the table 移到句首，然后经过倒装就会变成On the table sits a vase filled with flowers. 桌上有个装满花朵的花瓶。那注意一下，主词是代名词的时候就不需要倒装咯。例如 Here comes the bus. 公车来了。例句里面 the bus 改成代名词 it 的时候，句子会写作Here it comes， 我们就可以看到动词 comes 是维持在主词 it 后面，没有倒装。好，第二个重点是 the story goes that， 这是表达传闻、据说怎么样。The story 在这边是表达听闻的消息、传闻。Go 是用来带出所要引述的内容。我们看看常见的用法是 the story goes that 主词加动词，或者是 as the story goes 逗号主词加动词。例如As the story goes, the village was cursed by a powerful witch. 据说那个村庄被一个法力强大的女巫所诅咒了。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Welcome to Munich, the heart of Bavaria. This city began as a small village in 1158, but it is now one of Germany's largest and most important urban centers. Munich's rich history is there to see for anyone who walks along its grand streets, strolls through its pretty gardens, or explores its impressive buildings. Marienplatz, the city's busy main square, is a must-see for all visitors to Munich. The square is lined with beautiful buildings, but perhaps the most impressive of them all is the new town hall. It's worth checking out the building's famous mechanical clock. At points throughout the day, the clock uses life-size figures to recreate scenes from Munich's past, including a jousting contest and a wedding. Just around the corner stand the amazing twin towers of Munich's cathedral, which can be seen from all over the city. At ground level, a strange footprint on the church floor is a curious sight. The story goes that the footprint was left by the devil after he made a deal with the cathedral's builder. A few minutes' walk from the church is the English Garden, one of the largest urban parks in the world. Here, visitors can have leisurely walks, go bird watching, or even surf on the Eisbach, a man-made river.
The Paper Dome is very famous for its serene and natural atmosphere. Let's find out more about the environment that surrounds the Paper Dome. The Paper Dome offers a good place to learn about the environment. The lotus pond in the center of the park not only controls the temperature, but also serves as an ecological pond. Summer is a great time to see lotus blossoms. Lotus seeds can also be used in cooking. Visitors can pick lotuses and make rice and lotus leaves too. The park is the environmental education center of the community. It cleaned up the river and created the image of the frog being the boss of Taomi Village. In 2010, it also started to work on butterfly repopulation. From the 1960s to the 1970s, Taiwan was known as the Kingdom of Butterflies. There are roughly over 400 species of butterflies across the island. There are more than 220 species of butterflies in Puli, with over 100 found in the Paper Dome. The Paper Dome is growing more and more plants to attract butterflies. There are many cute caterpillar art installations in the park. Visitors can get to know more about the home of caterpillars. In the back of the park is an experimental kitchen. It's not a real kitchen. The park let old people use the place for free to grow vegetables. Today, it still uses natural farming practices. The Paper Dome is the perfect place to go when you want to get away from the hustle and bustle of your busy life. Come and experience the calm and tranquil environment for yourself.